All right, man, let's talk about Blake Griffin. Where does he fit in the Pistons' immediate future plans? And why can't the Pistons just move on from him? And if at all they can move him, let's talk about when. We back. Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate the love, support. Wanted to bless you guys with at least one more video tonight. And I think Pistons are fitting in tonight with. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. It's the best way to donate and help the channel out. And don't forget to check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment. Yeah, one of the reasons they can't move Blake Griffin is because he owed around just north of $70 million for the next 2 years. Blake Griffin is 31. He'll be 33 around the time his contract ends with the Pistons. So, basically it came down to trading Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. And Drummond was the more tradable asset because he was healthy. Now, Blake should resume basketball activities in June, according to Ed Stefanski. His interview he did, I think it was with the Detroit News or the Free Press. It was the Free Press, excuse me, and kind of giving the Pistons update. So, basically, they can't move him because he's not an asset right now that can help a team out, especially for $35-36 million a year. Now, had they moved him at the AllStar break last season, they would have got something for Blake Griffin, and they should have blew it up then, especially when they went on their losing streak. But they chose to keep Blake. They got Blake because they thought Blake was going to be able to sell tickets in Detroit, and obviously he was a baller. Fuck selling tickets. He was balling. He was single-handedly carrying us, but he didn't get no assistance, and then he kind of got injured, and then Dre stepped up, so we never can get him and Dre balling at the same or simultaneously. We can never get them balling at the same time, and that was a huge issue. And one of the issues was that they didn't have a point guard that can really make it work. But, Blake, when healthy, is still a good player. He's really, changed his game to really go with the times. Nobody talk about that. His evolution is great. I mean, I remember Antonio McDyess used to be a high flyer with the Denver Nuggets when he was one of the better players in the league. And he messed his knee up and he had to reinvent himself. And Blake Griffin has done a great job of reinventing Blake Griffin, from being a high flyer to learning how to play with his back to the basket, developing a three-point game, developing handles. If Blake Griffin can be healthy, he could be an asset, but his role on the Pistons is going to be grooming the next young guys coming in. He's going to be grooming Christian Wood. He's going to be grooming, whoever else, Sayoko. He's going to be grooming those young guys how to be professionals, how to carry themselves on and off the court, how to break down film, how to get into a routine. Blake Griffin virtually is going to be a player's coach just like Derrick Rose. And that's just going to be, what he's doing. Anything extra that he gives the team is going to be a boost. If he can come back healthy from the knee injury, 100%, then you might have an all-star there. So whoever you do bring in to go with Wood and Diambo, if it's Woods, if it's Melo, if it's Killian, if it's Anthony Edwards, if it's James Wiseman, they're going to have a guy to lean on to know how to really carry themselves on the court. And really, who is a pro's pro. Him and Derrick Rose, two of the nicest superstars, all-star caliber players that you see in the league, even when at their best and even at their worst. They nice people. They seem to be, very reliable, stay out of a lot of trouble. But as far as, when can they actually move him? For people who want to know, it's basically going to be the last year of his contract. Either they're going to buy it out the last year or they're going to be able to move him for an asset, but it really depends on how well Blake Griffin plays from here on out. If Blake Griffin is, trending to be on the All-NBA first, second, and third team like he was 2 seasons ago, then it's not really a risk. You got him for a season and a half, and that contract come off the book. So you can see next season at the All-Star break, the soonest you probably can trade Blake Griffin. If he's balling really, really well, you will see teams that's on the fringe of, that need that extra push to get over the championship hump that may take a chance on them. Maybe a Brooklyn, if KD and Kyrie doing well, but they need that extra boost next year's All-Star break. You might see a team like Boston that might need that extra boost. Gordon Hayward to be in the final year of his deal. That money matches up. You might see a situation like that. So Blake Griffin is not going to fetch a first-round lottery pick or nothing like that. You took a chance on him. And it really didn't work out. You made the playoffs, but he really wasn't able to be healthy in the playoffs for the Pistons. But for the most part, at the earliest, you probably could see him traded at the All-Star break next season if he balling good. If he not balling good and he kind of low management and still limping up the court, you probably see the last year of his deal. He'll probably get moved for an asset for cap space. If it's a superstar out there that signed a bad deal, per se, and this is just purely speculation. Let's say somebody signed DeMar DeRozan next year. Let's say he signed him next year, and in the first couple of years his contract is not working out, and you want to bring DeMar DeRozan in, and him and Blake Griffin, contract match up, and people say, well, why would a team trade for Blake Griffin, and for a caliber player with DeMar DeRozan if Griffin is not healthy? They would do that because they want to get that cap space, okay? So Blake Griffin, his final year in his contract, 2 years from now, he can give you $36 million plus in cap space. So you trade DeMar DeRozan to dump that salary on the Pistons, and you take Blake Griffin's salary to have $36 million in cap space. Free for the next summer, depending who the free agents are and depending on what they plan will be for their team. But that's the earliest you can see Blake Griffin traded to AllStar break. The latest is probably the AllStar break in his final year in the contract 2 years from now. But, I don't think he's going to be the superstar that he once was on a consistent basis. I think he probably will finish his contract off with the Pistons. Maybe a buyout at the end, maybe a trade of like Andre Drummond's type of trade with a couple seconds or a second, whatever, and they just get that salary off the books. But he may end up playing this contract out here, and then the Pistons are gonna have 40 million in cap space, and I think they're gonna manage the cap the right way. I think if they are truly a smart team, they will continue to manage the cap well, not just throw money that they got just to try to quickly build a winner. They'll build through the draft, and then they have a ton of cap space to fill it out with veterans that probably, when this team is on the verge of, being contenders in the East, not just the 8th, 7th seed, when they creep up to the 5th and 4th, and they start fighting for the Central Division, titles, and they start getting into the 3rd, 4th, 5th seed, 1st seed in the league in the Eastern Conference, then you'll see them bring on kind of that veteran player that probably can get them a push. But for Blake Griffin, his role is just going to be to nourish, to groom all the young guys they bring in, show them how to be professionals, and he still probably play on a night-by-night basis, and he still will be the man, he still get his numbers, but he's just not going to be in the long-term plans for the Pistons unless he has an extraordinary, next couple years. But me personally, I would just keep him on the pinch count, him and Derrick Rose. I don't know, a lot of people say, Derrick and Blake, they still could be a great duo, and, just they bodies can't keep up with the physical demands of the NBA anymore. So you have to really keep them on a pitch count. And I was getting killed for saying that in the beginning of the last year about Derrick Rose. I was like, you got to keep D Rose on the pitch count. He can't go out there and play, 30, 35, 40 minutes a game. And what happened this season is exactly what I said. You have to keep him on the pitch count. They kept him on the pitch count. He still got injured. You know what I'm saying? But nobody sat here and came and apologized. Nobody said, oh, man, CJ, you was right about Derrick Rose. No, that's one of the things about being on YouTube. When you're wrong, everybody going to say in the comment section, DM you wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong. But when you're right, nobody says nothing. What Rob Parker say, you can hear a mouse urinate on the cotton swab. And that's just one of the grinds about being on YouTube. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being right, obviously. But, hey, when I am right, hey, keep that same energy you keep when I'm wrong. But with Blake, his career right now is basically going to be chasing the title. But right now, he's just not tradable at his salary with 2 years left. But you think about it, they got 40 this year. In 2 years, if they can manage that 40, 2 years, they could have around 80 million in cap, depending on if the cap go up. The cap go up, they can have somewhere near 100 million. And in the next 2 years, this draft, you draft a nice rookie. Next year, you draft a nice rookie. And the year after, you draft a nice rookie. I mean, you had 3 good rookies on the team. Hopefully Wood come back. Hopefully Diambo develop into something. And hopefully Sivi Malachi can be a good glue guy. And by the time Blake Griffin contract come up, you may have a ton of cap space left open where you still can bring you a superstar. And why would people come to Detroit? Because if you draft right, if you have an Oklahoma City type Thunder draft where you can get Harden, KD, and Westbrook and still get Ibaka at the bottom when you start contending, if you can come get anywhere near that, players going to flock to Detroit to play with those type of guys. You know what I'm saying? And with that, if you can be what Philly was and you get Noel and Marquez Fultz and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, if you can get 2 out of 4 right, you can be in a great position, but you want to be able to get all 3 right and all 3 players fit what you do, even to the point if they do get there and they got you know, a guard, a forward, another guard, in a guard is still the best player on the board, you take that guard and you don't say, oh, we need a big man. That's one of the reasons why a lot of NBA teams mess up. You know, oh, we need a point guard, or we need a guard, and they pass up on the sure thing for a need, and you end up like Portland with Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan. You know, so you know, with Blake Griffin is the key to the Detroit Pistons, you know, future success. He is. His salary cap and, you know, just what they do in the personnel department. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video question, want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Let me know what you think about the video. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow, Motor City Sports Talk. Let me know how you feel. Don't forget to check out the channel.